Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. Tonight I'm going to be doing a review of a US/Mexican film. I'm going to say it's more Mexico because it's set in Mexico and it's got the Spanish language, so English subtitles. Released in the year 2008, directed by Alex Rivera, and this movie is called Sleep Dealer. And the story to Sleep Dealer is as follows. Sleep Dealer is a Spanish language science fiction film whose visions of the future are informed by current technological and social trends. Mimo is desperate to escape his tiny Mexican hometown, and his radio intercept allows him a glimpse of the outside world. But soon he overhears a top-secret conversation he never should have access to, and now he and his family are targets. When he finally does leave his hometown for Tijuana, he is on the run. When he meets Pretty Luz in the new city, she offers him friendship and the technology he needs to get a job, but she may also put his life in danger. So the movie centers around Mimo. He's the main character, and he lives in a very poor Mexican hometown. Now, he daydreams constantly about what life is like outside of this little hometown, and he is further, that sort of daydreaming aspect of him is further intensified because he has a radio interceptor. So he can listen in onto other people's conversations, and he loves this radio interceptor, so his obsession with technology is straight away made visible. So one day he's listening in on a conversation that he really shouldn't have. It's a top secret military conversation, and as a result of this, eventually the military catch on that he is listening, and they mistake him for a terrorist. So there's an airstrike on this hometown that ends up killing Mimo's grandfather. Now, Mimo's grandfather was the source of income for his family, so now they're in a real dilemma. Now that he's dead, no one is there to bring food on the table. So Mimo is forced to take responsibility and basically make a living so he can support his family. And to do this, he escapes to Tijuana. He's still on the run. He gets to Tijuana, and this is where he meets Luz. Now, Luz is a very attractive young female, and she gets him a job as a sleep dealer. Basically, what they do, they're wired up to this technological sort of futuristic thing that can transport them from Tijuana to America and work on things in a very surreal way. So Mimo starts doing this, and he's starting to get very tired because the workload is a lot. But he has his family's interests. He's the biggest goal he has is the interest of his family to support them. So he won't stop until he gets what he wants. And as a result of him knowing Luz, there is a little romance that blossoms. But then Mimo realizes that Luz could put him and his family at danger. So that's all I'm going to give you on the synopsis. If you like the sound of that, then please go out there and check it out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with a synopsis. Now, my thoughts on the film. This one had some really interesting subjects. Now, first of all, it is a movie about a poor man and the sudden responsibility as as a result of the death of a prominent family figure. So it is a case of having to grow up very quickly and supply the money that is needed to survive. So it's taken responsibility, and it is a journey of one man's voyage from being poor, to having some money, and what they actually do with that. You know, the newfound freedom that they have, and how that can shape a person as a human being. So that was the biggest interest that I had in the film. It also does touch upon technological advances between the poor and the rich. I thought that it was very different from his life in his very poor hometown. Then when he gets to Tijuana, it's almost like it's a different world, and the technological advances were far greater than what he had in his hometown. So the vast differences between those two were also very interesting. And then you've also got the love story, which didn't really appeal to me, but if you're a fan of romance, then that aspect of the film will interest you as well. The acting was decent as well, so there are positives to the movies, but unfortunately this movie promises so much but it delivers so little, and the reason for it is because it is not very emotional. There is no depth to it, and it is very shallow. I mean, this has got the depth of a puddle, and that to me is why the film fails on so many levels. Now, I actually thought that the aspect of growing up, as I said, taking responsibility, that was done pretty well, and you did get a level of sympathy for his family because of this terrible tragedy, and his newfound responsibilities, they were very daunting to him, and you could really sympathize for him because so many families in today's society, they go through this. And so I actually felt sorry for him, and that was the only time I actually did feel sorry for him, because the rest of the movie, it kind of just meanders along with no real plot, and the movie just doesn't have any direction, which is very noticeable by about halfway through. and the last half of the movie is absolutely tedious. Now, the technological differences I thought was good as well, but once again was not really gone into in depth. It was really just skimmed across the surface. And the character development is what destroys the romance part of the movie. There is no real sense of connection between the two main characters. There's no chemistry because we don't go into their lives, we don't go into their personalities, so you just don't care about either of them. And when the romance comes, it feels more of a distraction rather than a continuation of the story. And so you just didn't feel it. There was no chemistry. The actors were good, but I just didn't feel any. The romance wasn't very authentic, so therefore I felt that the director really did put the focus on the wrong subject matter. I did feel that it had the potential to be a great film, but unfortunately the movie does end the way the whole movie goes. So it does stay very consistent. The ending is very forgettable in what is ultimately a very forgettable film. So I'm only giving this 1.5 stars. I will say that the music was pretty good. Visually, the movie is outstanding. So it's not a complete disaster. The director really does have talent, but the director really felt like he was taking it very easy. He was playing it very safe, and therefore, because he didn't take any risks, you didn't feel like you were taking any risks along the ride. So you kind of felt that everything would go along nicely, even though he was faced with this dilemma. You kind of felt that things would be alright because there was no threat. The thriller aspect of the film, it's been marketed as a thriller, there was just no thriller aspect to it. It promises thriller, but it doesn't deliver. And that's ultimately what the whole film is about, promising one thing and delivering another thing. So 1.5 stars for Sleep Dealer, definitely not coming recommended, very, very disappointing. Alright guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.